Welcome back to Wellness with Ashti. So, today I wanted to talk about something different. I wanted to share a little bit about my journey from being a heavy meat eater to turning plant based and vegan. And I also wanted to talk about another big transition in my life, which was from being a pilot for 15 years and transitioning to this new career as a holistic nutritionist, plant based chef, and a functional medicine specialist. I think one of the reasons I wanted to share more about my journey because I want people to know that we don't have to follow a certain timeline when it comes to our life and even our career. We can reinvent ourselves at any time if we feel that calling. I'm also going to talk about the good, the bad, the challenges I faced in this transition because change on its own is super tough and sometimes it's by choice and sometimes it isn't. But either way, I think the way we perceive change and the way we look at change is what is important. Because let's face it, change is the only constant in life. But I've realized that the way we deal with it is important. So let's go back in time and talk a little bit about my childhood for you to understand what this transition meant for me and why I did it. So I was born in Bombay and I lived there till I was about 10 years old. I lived with my mom, my masi, and my grandfather. And I was really close to my grandfather because my parents were divorced and my grandfather kind of filled that father figure role. So growing up, food was a very important part of our house. We were the kind of family that spoke about what we're going to eat for dinner while we were eating lunch. When it came to eating meat, we ate quite a lot of it. And it's interesting now when I look back and think about how families shape our choices. Because as a family, we really enjoyed eating meat and we thought that vegetarians were missing out in life. So yeah, that was my reality. But at the same time, as a child, I was extremely passionate about animals and I wanted to save every single dog on the road, which was obviously not possible. So then I turned 10 and I went to boarding school where the food was crap. I'm not even kidding. I pretty much survived on Maggi noodles and chips for like 6 years of my life. But anyways, you get the idea that food was a very big part of my life. But I never made the connection with the food on my plate and the animals I claimed to love so much. I basically ate meat because it was normal in my family to eat meat, and I never once questioned it. So as the years passed, I started flying, I became a pilot, and I got to experience new cultures, foods from different countries. And that was a really fun part of my foodie journey. But I think it was around 30 when I met a friend who was vegan at that time. I had actually never even heard of the term vegan and didn't even understand what it meant. So one day I invited her home for lunch and served an accidentally vegan meal of dosa, sambar, and chutney. If you're from South India, you know that's super easy to veganize. And I was actually really curious to understand why she was vegan. So I asked her a question. I was like, how did you give up eating beef? I don't think I could ever do that. And she calmly responded to me saying something like, Ashti, have you ever looked into the eyes of a cow? And that statement kind of shocked me because I was like, why would I ever look into the eyes of a cow? Anyways, that was that. We didn't really speak much about veganism or anything that afternoon. But as luck would have it, that evening, I see a video on YouTube that catches my attention. It's called One Girl's Journey to Vegan. And it was a PETA video, which basically showed a girl who was kind of like me. She ate a lot of meat, but she also loved her dogs. And she comes across these slaughterhouse videos on YouTube and how that changes her. She basically slowly starts changing her diet because she realizes she doesn't want to support the animal agriculture industry anymore. But she's scared to tell people she's vegan because she's afraid that they'll make fun of her. And then after a few months, she becomes more vocal about her choices. And yeah, basically that video kind of changed my perspective because I realized I was being a hypocrite. I then started Googling slaughterhouse videos on YouTube and watched a whole bunch of them. and I cried, and I just felt so sad that I was doing this to these animals that I claimed to love. Because on one hand, I was volunteering at an animal shelter. I would go there every week. I would clean, I would bathe the dogs, I would walk the dogs. I was around animals. But then I was coming home and eating beef and mutton and not realizing the connection. I felt like the industry had done such a good job of hiding the truth. Because honestly, I never once made the connection that if I love dogs and would never eat them, then why would I eat a pig or a cow? Because what those videos really showed me was that all these animals had the capacity to feel love and pain just like my dog. So, anyways, this was a rude awakening for me, and I decided I was going to change, but I didn't want to do it overnight. And now, when I look back, I realize there's also something else that pushed me to make this decision. You know how I spoke about how my grandfather was basically my father figure growing up? But when I was like 12, he passed away in a car accident while he was dropping me to boarding school. So obviously, this was like a life-changing moment for me. And I don't think I had the support system to deal with this grief while I was a child. But what I did have was my dogs. I had two dogs at that time, E.T. and Manjali. And honestly, I think if it wasn't for my dogs who literally showed me what unconditional love meant, I don't know how I would have coped. And that's why this was so impactful in my life and actually pushed me to turn vegan, because I literally felt like I owed it to the animals. Because when I needed them, they were there for me. And this might sound crazy, but I thought about it and I was like, this is one way of me saying thank you for what they did for me. But anyways, like I said, I didn't quit overnight. I took it slow. I stopped eating dairy and meat first, but I would eat seafood like once a week. And I also never told anyone I was vegan because, again, I was scared that they would judge me, just like I judged vegetarians when I was eating meat. So basically, this transition took 6 months. And in the meantime, I did a plant-based nutrition course, and I realized that eating this way was actually even beneficial for my health. I then watched Cowspiracy. And if you've seen that documentary, you know how life-changing it is. Because once I saw the truth about how the animal agriculture industry is basically polluting our environment and causing so much deforestation, I was just shocked. So like any new vegan, the first emotion you feel is anger. You just don't understand how your friends and family are not able to see the truth. And I think this is a crucial part of every vegan's journey. First it's anger, then it's hopelessness, then it's doubt, then finally acceptance. Accepting that this is your journey and you can't force your journey on anyone else. So yeah, that was almost 10 years ago and I've never looked back. But there are a few things I wish I had known before I turned vegan. So funnily, I lost a lot of friends in my journey because they didn't understand this part of me and why I was so passionate about this lifestyle. Because, veganism is more than a diet. It's a lifestyle, right? Here I was, newly vegan, not only changing my diet, but also realizing the impact of my choices when it came to plastic use, trying to choose ethically sourced makeup, giving up leather. And that can get overwhelming, especially when you don't have the support system or anyone to even validate your choices. So on one hand, I knew in my heart that I was making the right decision. But I was very lonely in the journey because I didn't have anyone to talk to. And I think if you're a new vegan, my advice to you is that this is part of our journey and your true friends will stick around. But also try to put yourself out there, make new friends on social media or through Instagram or Facebook. Like right now, I've met most of my vegan friends through Instagram, and I'm so grateful for that. For me, my family even didn't understand this choice of mine. I think my husband was the only supportive person, but my mom and everyone else didn't quite get it. And I don't blame them because they didn't understand this choice of mine. Some of them even ridiculed my choices and made fun of me. And honestly, that can be really difficult. But like I said, there was this like deep knowing within me that I was making the right choice for myself. And that's what kept me going. The other challenge I faced was trying to find vegan food when I traveled or when I was flying. I would literally pack all my meals every day before a flight. And sometimes that did get tiring. But of course, there were lots of positive things in my vegan journey. I started to enjoy vegetables I'd never eaten before. And if you've seen my Instagram, you know I'm the kind of person who loves to incorporate new vegetables in fun ways, whether it's in a dessert or a salad, and stuff that I would have never eaten before when I was eating meat. I also started really enjoying experimenting with food. Before I turned vegan, I was someone who actually never stepped foot in the kitchen. But when I turned vegan, I had to learn to cook for myself because nobody else could feed me tasty food anymore. And so I had to basically take matters into my own hands. Another really good benefit I got was as a pilot, we basically had yearly medical tests, which were quite rigorous. And I think my 35th medical, the medical examiner just looked at my reports and he was like, "What have you been doing? Because all your numbers are spot on." And it was at that point that I realized that this plant-based diet was working for me. And even though I started for ethical reasons, but this was also the best thing for my health. And these medical reports just reassured me and validated that I was doing the right thing. Because at this point, I had really gotten into studying nutrition from a holistic angle. And what shocked me was that all the chronic diseases that we face today, like diabetes and hypertension and even PCOD, all these issues could actually be prevented with the right lifestyle and nutrition. And that really shocked me. Like, why weren't more people talking about this? That if you change your diet and your lifestyle, you have a good chance of reversing your diabetes and more so even preventing it. But it seemed like people were more inclined to just take a pill and be done with it and not realize the long-term effects of that pill and having the condition for such a long time, which leads to other health issues. So while I turned vegan for ethical reasons, I followed a healthy plant-based diet. I made sure to get in enough fruits and vegetables, and I made sure that my body wasn't getting any deficiencies. And I realized the truth that a diet rich in whole foods with lots of vegetables, fruits, and legumes and good fats like nuts and seeds were actually the magic pill, but nobody wanted to follow it. People would rather have a surgery than change their diet. And that really blew my mind. I saw friends, family, everyone around me with some health issue, but not realizing how powerful nutrition and lifestyle can be. I'm not saying it's 100% nutrition, but exercise and meditation and other things can really be beneficial. So yeah, that was a little bit about my vegan journey. Then coming to my transition from being a pilot to this new career as a nutritionist. So I wanted to be a pilot since I was 5 years old because my grandfather was a flight engineer at that time. And I honestly wanted to be just like him because, like I said, he was such an important part of my life. And he was the primary father figure and he was my role model. So anyways, he suggested that I become a pilot because by the time I grow up, flight engineers were going to be redundant. And that's how it stuck that I was going to be a pilot. So as a little girl of 5 years old, I knew I wanted to be a pilot. And growing up, that didn't change. So after school, I went to the US, did my pilot training, came back, got a job with Kingfisher Airlines when I was 22. And I thought I had my life all figured out. So basically, my 20s were spent working really hard, traveling all over the place, long days, long nights, the typical pilot life. But when I turned vegan, something inside me shifted. I started to see things differently. I realized the impact of my choices on the environment and the planet. And more than that, I just had this desire to do something more impactful. I know some of you might think that flying a plane is impactful, and it is. It is a big deal. I'm not saying it wasn't, but after so many years, it can get monotonous. I think the other thing I didn't like about my job was being away from home, especially after I got married and settled down. I just wanted to have a normal routine where I would work during the week and was free during the weekends because I saw my husband do that, and that's what I craved. But of course, salary job like the one I had isn't something you just give up. It took me so many years to train, then rack up my hours, become a captain. So there was a lot of hard work that I put into my career, and I was honestly scared to let it go. It had also become such a big part of my identity. But somewhere deep down, something was missing. Like, I just didn't know what. So, anyways, 2021 rolls around and my life changes in one instant. I won't go into all the details, but basically, I slipped down a staircase and I hit my head, and it was quite bad. Once I reached the hospital, I had a seizure and I was put on anti seizure meds for a short time. And I was told that I basically couldn't fly for a year, or so I thought. So it was a crazy time for me because I had never taken a break from flying for 15 years, and suddenly I couldn't fly for a year. Obviously, it was really hard at first, but then after a few months, I had healed and I was actually really lucky. Like, I could have been injured much worse, could have been paralyzed, but I was back to working out in a few weeks and things were good. Mentally, though, things were tough. I had no idea what I was going to do during this year, but after a few months, I figured out that I wanted to go and do a plant-based chef course in London because I really wanted to make the most of my year. So anyways, 1 year goes by, I go to London, I finish my chef course, which I was really excited about. I learned so many new things and I became really comfortable in the kitchen. So it was a great learning experience. So anyway, I come back from London and I have my pilot medicals again. And at this point, it's been a year and a few months since I've flown a plane. It's funny because at my medical, they were basically going to tell me if I was okay to go back to flying or not. And it's funny because I got this like really weird emotion coming up while I was at my medical. And it was like this feeling like, oh my God, do I have to go back to flying? I wasn't really looking forward to it, honestly. I had like this pit in my stomach, like, damn, I have to go back to my job. And I'm not even sure I want to anymore. But the universe had other plans for me because at my medical, I was told that I basically can't fly for another 3 years, which would make it 4 years in total. Now, that's basically another way of saying that my career as a pilot is over. And hearing that was really tough because, when you make a decision for yourself, like me turning vegan, I had to deal with the consequences because it was my decision. But here I felt like I was robbed of my decision. Like suddenly the fate of my life wasn't even in my hands anymore. Even though a part of me didn't want to go back to flying, this news was still really hard to hear. So that was that. My life had completely changed and I was like, damn, be careful what you wished for, right? And yeah, I think the point that I'm trying to make by sharing all this is that change is inevitable, whether it's your career or your relationships and generally in life. It can be really hard to deal with, especially if you don't have anything else in your life that you're passionate about. But luckily for me, in my case, even though I couldn't fly, I had this passion of cooking, for veganism, for health and wellness. And I knew I had to try to do something. I mean, I could have just been really depressed and thought that my life was over. But I saw it as an opportunity for me to finally do something else, something that I had been longing to do for a long time. So yeah, that's basically how my story goes. After that, I really focused on building my Instagram audience because I just wanted to share vegan recipes and show people that it's not so hard to eat this way. I also did a few nutrition courses and I trained to become a holistic nutritionist. And right now I'm doing a functional medicine course. I think now my passion is helping people get healthy and reverse autoimmune conditions and chronic diseases like diabetes, hypertension, and PCOS. Because I think the modern medical system is really good at acute care when it comes to anything urgent and immediate. But with chronic issues, I think it really falls short. I mean, of course, every person is different and symptoms manifest differently. So looking at it from a holistic angle and helping someone to get to the root cause of their issues and turning it around, I think that's what I'm really passionate about. So yeah, this was a long episode for me and this was kind of hard to also talk about, but I thought it was important for me to share so that, people know a little bit more about me and my journey. And it's also a reminder for anyone facing adversity and change to try and look at it differently. I'm also like a spiritual person, and I believe that things happen for a reason. In that moment, it might seem like your world is falling apart, but just remember that life is happening for you and not to you. And I know that's really cliched. Like the old me would be like, that doesn't make sense. But it's something that I truly believe right now. And I think we all have the power to change our lives to become whatever we want it to be. When I was younger, there was only one thing I feared. It was getting old and regretting I didn't do something. So honestly, obviously, I don't know where life is going to take me. And that was really hard for me because I'm such a control freak. But I've learned to let go and actually see the magic in letting things flow. So, yeah, I think this has been one of my biggest lessons because let's face it, nobody can control everything in our lives. At some point, we will have setbacks. We will face loss, whether it's a family member or a job or a friend or anything. But that's life, right? But through it, there are so many lessons, and I wouldn't trade them for anything because they've made me the person that I am today. So, anyways, I don't know if this will resonate with anyone, but this was something I felt like I should share. Thank you for listening, and I'll see you in the next episode of Wellness with Ashti, where we'll go back to debunking nutrition myths and sharing practical tips to help you on your health journey.